Hey, this is Nathan Drake from Uncharted. You're listening to Raw Dogs. Sic Parvis Magna. Enjoy.
In a world covered by endless water.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Raw Dogs number 97. This is the most wonderful time of the year once again, Mega Manuary, and good Lord, we're back. My name is Brad, and I'm excited to give the Blue Bomber a little rest after this one.
I'm excited to put it in its damn grave. My name is Dylan. Why did we do this in the first place? Was it just that we were a video game podcast and we were looking for a theme?
It's because I thought the pun was funny, and that made me play Mega Man X 7 and 8, and I can't take that back.
Okay. You can't.
My name's Tyler, and I've played about 27 minutes of Mega Man in my entire life.
Wow.
We are sadly not qualified to talk about this, but that's why we have two very special guests. Frank, you are returning to the Dogcast.
Yeah, it's been quite some time, but it's good to be back. It's good to see you guys again.
And people might know you from Super RPG Friends.
Yes, the esteemed Super RPG Friends. We're a group of people who hang out a bunch of times a week playing RPGs, building robots, playing MMOs that are dated as a motherfucker for Friday Fantasy 11. Oh my god. Hoo boy, it's been a while since Final Fantasy 11 and I feel it. We're playing like a super old version of it too, so
that's not bad.
But hey, it's one of my good buddies, he does a lot of video essays, Andrew Blewett on YouTube. He does Final Fantasy, really in-depth Final Fantasy video essays. His Final Fantasy 6 video was 5 hours long.
He popped up on my recommendations. I've watched his work. He does a very good job.
Great. Well, of course, you know, the video won't be out for like 3 years, but he's like, I might as well start now for Final Fantasy 11. And he's like, do you think you guys want to all try to get together and we'll play that together and stuff, and you can just say fuck it, stream it? And we're like, absolutely, that sounds like a great time. And then the last episode, we ran for... it was like a Lord of the Rings... It's like we watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. There was at least 3 hours of walking. Like... Oh, God.
Man, yeah, prime entertainment. Peak video game.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It was one of the... Well, then we finally got to where we were going, and we finally got our party together, and then the first enemy wiped us, and we were like, motherfucker. So we played it for like 6 hours last night, and now we're good. But oh man, that game is infamous for a reason. I only played it when I was a kid at a girl I liked at her house, where we would watch Naruto anime music videos and take turns playing Final Fantasy 11.
Linkin
so
Park.
That's the extent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the first time I saw the Gaara and Rock Lee fight.
The coolest
with the
fight
Linkin Park
in the series.
So good. Still some of the peakest shit, man.
He gets drunk.
Naruto
it's
has its things, but man, what a good fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, you also I also do the premium edition thing. We're a small video game physical publisher. We release Switch games. We're working on PlayStation games. We've done a vinyl. We just we make cool stuff, and people happen to like cool stuff, which gives us the money to make more cool stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah, and also joining us, we have Kip returning to the Dogcast. Kip, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am such a big fan of both Hair of the Dogcast and Mega Man Legends. So if Mega Manuary is going in the grave, I'm glad it's going out on top.
Kip is not just one of our best supporters. He's also become a very good friend of ours.
Yeah. Kip was at my wedding getting down.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
I did get down. That was great.
Yeah, and Mega Man Legends has been looming in the background of my life for a while now because, well, we're over 4 years of Raw Dogs. We did the Mega Man Classic series the first January. The following year, we did the Mega Man X series. God, no.
Well, the first four
The first,
are good.
first 4.5 are good. But, man, 7 and 8 were bad. And then the next year, we did Mega Man Z and Mega Man ZX.
Zero.
Mega Man 0/ZX. And those are okay. But I have one outline, which is the timeline of all of the Mega Man series. And this is all one contiguous timeline. It's all one universe. And Mega Man Legends is the end point. There's, of course, Battle Network and Star Force, separate timeline. We're free. You can't touch us. Battle Network. Despite those being great games from what I've heard.
I've actually
Oh,
played
I
the
love
first
Battle
one.
Network.
Is anybody else as frustrated as me at the naming convention for this series?
It's Japanese, man. You got to get over it.
I will never. I'm going to die on this hill.
You just got to get over it.
Well, I mean, they're different series in Mega Man. There's 7 different series.
Well, Tyler wasn't here for the Kingdom Hearts series, so he doesn't get how
I don't
bad
get
it can
it.
truly get.
Well, if you don't understand calculus, you can't read a Kingdom Hearts title.
I'm good with trigonometry.
Are you?
No.
Liar.
Wait. Tyler, what is trigonometry?
Trigonometry is what Jake Gyllenhaal does in this movie I watched once when I was a kid called October Sky to make the rocket go up in the air.
I've seen that movie.
But we're going to take that rocket up in the air today, talking about Mega Man Legends. Before we jump in, personal experience.
Don't talk about rockets going to the moon or anything like that around Mega Man Legends fans, man. We're very temperamental about Mega Man Legends 3, okay?
Bring him
Which
back.
we will talk about.
Which I know so much about.
Volnut is still up there. No one's saving that fucker. He's waiting.
It's done with.
But personal experiences, we owned Mega Man Legends back in the day. I probably played through 10 hours of it. I have never played Misadventures of Tron-Bon. I've never played Mega Man Legends 2. And I know that it is beloved. I know that people have very strong feelings. Like, people that love these games really love these games.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to talk about the plot. That's where I'm at. Dylan, your experience?
I have played, I would imagine, 8 hours of the first Mega Man Legends. I had rented it for the N64. And I hear that's a not good version.
It's a worse version for sure.
Okay, so I thought it was really bad, and I never rented it again, which is also probably why I'm not a fan of the series, because when I was young, dumb, and naive, which I still am a lot of those things.
Now you're old, dumb, and naive.
Yeah, exactly, which is such a plus. I thought, like, oh, wow, I heard in a gaming magazine this game was good. Well, screw this, not for me. And I never touched it.
Tyler?
I had to look up Game Boy Advance Mega Man games because that's the only one I've ever played. And I think the only one I've ever played is Battle Network.
So it's not even a Mega Man game.
That's
Really?
what it said, Mega Man on the case. What happened was I got a Game Boy Advance for my birthday on Christmas Eve. And my dad got me like 3 games, one of which was a Mario game, which dominated my life. But every now and again, you know, you get tired of playing Mario, so I threw on Mega Man. But I remember not super getting into it, probably because it was difficult and I was not very good.
You playing Battle Network as your only game, it's like when I took my wife to see her first Star Wars film and it was Rise of Skywalker.
Oh boy.
And luckily, though, you two, both fans of the series. Frank, what's your experience, your life experience with the Legend series?
Look at this shitty fucking tattoo I have of Mega Man X. that I got.
Hold it
Fucking-
up. I'm gonna take a look at it. I gotta get a little bit closer.
So that's the classic Mega Man?
No, that's X. See, because he's got the head jewel.
Ah,
See, that's
yes,
how you
that's-
tell.
oh, yeah.
Not because there's any, good art being done there or anything, but you can tell by the head jewel. This was supposed to be pixels, and it was done in someone's garage. That is a little bit of how important that series is. Even one of the names that a lot of people know me on the internet is Woodman. My last name's Wood, and I like Mega Man, so it only seemed natural. It's a series that I have fond memories of being at my grandparents' house with my grandpa. He'd whip out graph paper and draw the password things for the classic series. X was one of my first Super Nintendo games I ever played after Donkey Kong Country, and I just remember being like absolutely blown away. I have some formative memories, like some of those core gaming memories are like in X3 in the opening level when X gets captured and Zero teleports down, and you wait and you're like, why is he not moving? And then I touched the controller and I was like, oh, I could play as Zero. Holy fuck. Like, it's a very important series to me. I love pretty much everything outside of, like Mega Man Soccer or like some of the later X's. I'm an X6. There's some good in X6. You know when you said there's 4.5 good games? That's because there's like half a good game hidden in 6.
Yeah.
Legends in particular is another one that one really resonated with me. I really love the story, the storytelling, as I'm sure I'll say a million times today. There's something about there's like a vibe of coziness that's so prevalent in Legends that is such a standout feature. Like the way that they do faces, everything comes together. The way that everyone acts like almost familiar with Mega Man as like you do all. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get into it more, but everything that whole series is extremely important to me. I fucking love Mega Man, and even further on, Legends in particular is some of my favorite stuff. Like I think Legends 2 is an absolutely spectacular like game, one of the best 3D action games of that generation. Legends 1 did Z targeting before Ocarina of Time did. Suck my dick. If we're looking at Japanese release dates, that's all I'm saying. But I'm pumped to talk about it. I fucking love Mega Man.
Are you saying that Mega Man Legends is responsible then for Metroid Prime?
Well, you want to know another game that, speaking of like weird parallels with other series, there's only one other game I know of that has a similar base management, unit management, multiple mission types that I know of, and that's Metal Gear Solid 5, the spiritual sequel to The Misadventure of Tron Bonne.
Wow.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'm liking the fire that's being dropped.
Metal Gear Solid 5 comes out, and Frank, you're sitting there like, Misadventures of Tron Bonne did it better.
That's just what I'll say when I have to pretend I know what I'm talking about.
And Kip, you played all 3 of the games we're talking about today?
To my great shame, I own all 3, but I've only played Mega Man Legends. 2 and Tron Bonne are downloaded on my PS3. And it's kind of weird to me that I just don't want it to end. I know what the ending of Mega Man Legends 2 is. I just don't want it to end. But
I thought you liked all games, Kip.
I'm sure I'll love them.
He still likes them until he's played them. It's a rule.
Oh, no.
It's Schrodinger's cat.
I didn't really have...
What you have to do is make a content excuse so every single fucking week you have to play a game, and that's how you beat a backlog. That's what I did. Now this is the life I live.
Well, Kip is on OnlyFans, so you're gonna...
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, only Mega Mans.
Only Mega Man's, yeah.
When I was, a kid, I was a Sega kid, so I didn't really have much of a history with Mega Man outside of playing X at my friend Eric's house, which I really did enjoy, but it wasn't... Sonic was like the thing I went to. And then I was just getting into anime because I just played Final Fantasy VII, and I saw this commercial for Mega Man Legends where you see their faces like animate and they speak and there's voice acting and there's cartoonish explosions, and I just thought, what is this? I need to play this. So I got into Mega Man Legends. I really think of Mega Man Legends when I think of Mega Man.
But let's jump into the series here. Mega Man Legends was developed and published by Capcom. Produced by Keiji Inafune. We all know him. Designed by Kazunori Kodoi. Written by Shin Kurosawa. Composed by Makoto Tomozawa, who started on Aladdin for the Super Nintendo, did lots of music for Mega Man, Resident Evil, and Dino Crisis. But there's one name that's extra important. He was director, producer, co-writer, and his name is Yoshinori Kawano. He was the planner for Breath of Fire 1, series director for Breath of Fire 3, heavily involved in Legends 1, 2, and Misadventures, director of Mega Man 0, 1 through 4, Dead Rising, and he directed the Separate Ways DLC for the Resident Evil 4 remake, which was really weird to me.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That one definitely
That's an
stands out.
interesting fact.
Something
Like Dead Rising for the 360.
The original one, yeah.
I love that game.
That's
Yep,
something in
so
common that
Capcom
he had
royalty.
with Breath of Fire 3 and Mega Man Legends is that both of them, in Breath of Fire 3 there's a fairy village, and in Mega Man Legends there's a safe house that both of them you can check in and see what the progress has been in between the story. And then they just build up this cute tree house or fairy village, and they're very similar and very adorable. Give that cozy vibe that Frank mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so lost already. This is gonna be great.
We're doing Breath of Fire 3 right now on the show too, so that is another absolutely fantastic game. Phenom.
Oh, yeah. I have good feelings about Breath of Fire 3.
I've only ever played that bad Breath of Fire. The one on like the PS2.
Dragon
It was
Quarter?
like,
Dragon Quarter?
Dragon Quarter, yeah. I played that one. That was not good.
Legends, KJ Unifune, the Mega Man Papa, as he likes to call himself, stated his purpose was to create a new Mega Man which would be completely different from all the others. He wanted to mix the action, RPG, and adventure games. That's pretty much all I could find on development. The Japanese title is Rockman Dash Hagane no Bukenshin, which means Adventurous Spirit of Steel.
I like that.
I like that.
Works for me. Does anyone know what the dash means? I'm just thinking you two might.
Dash is like sometimes.
No, it's an acronym.
Subtraction.
Oh, it's dash.
I actually learned this.
Digger action. I don't.
I had always assumed it
I
had
don't-
to do with the roller skates you can get, the jet skates you can get in the game, and I only learned this from your own notes. Frank, go ahead.
I don't know the second half. I digger action and I forget the second half.
It's very weird. Dig Outers Adventure Stories
Oh.
in the Halcyon Days.
The Halcyon Days. They actually, it's one of my friends put on my radar on Steam. A game just got released called Halcyon Legends, and it's a Mega Man Legends inspired indie.
Interesting.
Oh, that's cool. I've actually heard of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna play it eventually. I think I might reach out to him and see if he wants me to like do a stream of it and see if I can get a key or something like that.
Fuck yeah.
But I'm looking forward to giving that a try. I've always said I want to see a very direct modern indie game where they're like, no, Mega Man Legends was special to me, and I want to make something in the same vein. And I've said that forever. So even if it's not the greatest, I'm indebted to. I have to play it.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's so. I love Japanese naming conventions. I always have. You're an anime fan, Frank, and I think you are too, Kip. You
I
love
am.
Evangelion and a lot of other stuff. And sometimes they're Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yeah. It's just, I love the naming conventions.
On the Neon Genesis, the final movie, Neon Genesis
4.0.
Evangelion. What is it? No, it's
3.0
3.0 plus
thrice
1.
upon a time.
3.0
Oh, yeah.
plus yeah. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 thrice upon a time. Yeah, Oof, hell yeah.
It's an
that's
okay
a-
movie, I think.
So if we stretch
Then-
out the Japanese title, it's Rockman Dig Outers Adventure Stories in the Halcyon Days Adventurous Spirit of Steel. Rolls off the tongue. In June of '97 at E3 was revealed to America as Mega Man Neo. A demo of the game was included in the Japanese director's cut of Resident Evil. January 98, they changed it to Mega Man Nova, only to revert it 2 weeks later due to trademark issues. And March of 98, the name was decided to be Mega Man Legends. This game was released December 18th, 1997 in Japan for the PS1. It arrived in North America September of 98, about a year later, and it came to the 64 November 22nd, 2000. Some voice acting was removed to fit it on the cart and did come to the PSP and the PS3 later as well. The story is centered around a character named Mega Man Volnut.
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 Volnutt.
His partner Roll Casket and Roll's grandfather Barrel Casket, as they search the world digging through ancient ruins in search of quantum refractors, the source of power for their civilization. Along the way, they skirmish frequently with Reaverbots and air pirates. And as far as anime goes, like that's the kind of shit that I like in anime is air pirates and, not Reaverbot specifically, but
Miyazaki type shit.
Around the time I had found this game was a time that I had seen an anime called Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. Are you guys familiar with this anime?
Yes.
It's
a sequel to Final Fantasy V.
Right, which I hadn't played 5, so I didn't really know what it was about.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
The summoner gun, right? Wasn't that the gun that shoots like summon monsters from Final
That
Fantasy?
one is Final Fantasy Unlimited,
is
which
that-
I've heard is garbage, but I have not seen it.
Oh, it is. It's hot garbage.
But Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals is Mega Man Legends, the anime. There's an analog for every character, the plot, and it's just as cute.
No shit, really?
Oh, okay.
I think when we're setting the scene for Mega Man Legends, it's very important to stress that it takes place in a world covered by endless water.
Endless water.
This is
why
something
is that a meme?
that plays before the start screen, so you hear that every time you turn on your PlayStation.
Oh. Well, we'll put it at the start of this episode then too.
Oh, you got it.
Were they aware of climate
Perfect.
change back then? What's the deal?
What was the status on Waterworld? Did the movie with Kevin
Yeah, it
Costner
did.
come out at this point?
Yeah, that
It's
was
out,
the
right.
that was the early '90s. That they did.
Things getting all wet was just the hot thing back then.
It was so in.
Yeah.
It was the 90s. Get Jiggy With It by Will Smith was out. People have been jiggying it for like 5 years at this point. I get it.
Except now he's like a cuck or something.
Oh, I think he was a cuck back then too.
Oh, okay.
So the gameplay of Mega Man Legends.
Emergent gameplay, emergent cuck, whatever. I mean,
Speaking of cucks,
However you want to get jiggy with it, we respect it.
now we're going to talk about the lore and the plot after.
what are we going to talk about? Roll or Tron?
Can one of you describe how the gameplay works?
Yeah, I would love to start this off. Dylan nailed this when he pointed out the Z targeting. Oh, unless Frank, did you mention that? This game
Who's me?
plays just like Ocarina of Time. I would say the big difference is that this is all tank controls, so you're going to be touching L1 and R1 the entire time. But you're going into dungeons, collecting 3 keys to get to a boss room and get back to the town and see what else needs to happen.
It's a 3D platformer shooter.
I don't
Correct.
think there's much platforming from what I remember, right?
You
There's more platforming in the second game.
Okay.
Once you get the spring
Okay.
boots, there's a bit of platforming in the dungeons. And there's also very heavy RPG elements where you can level up each of your weapons, your special weapons, change your accessories, and buy items from shops.
So the crux of the game, though, is you're going exploring for quantum refractors to rebuild like a village and explore like an island, correct?
That's exactly right. Without getting too much into the plot, because I know we're going to get into that, you're looking for more and more powerful
Go ahead.
refractors to repair your ship
Unleash.
because you crash land on Cadillac's Island, which is where the game takes place. So it starts out with you just needing the powerful refractors to repair your ship, and you stay for the friendship along the way.
So the world is covered in endless water, and they
Endless water.
crash their ship on the one island.
There's a few islands.
Okay, there's a few. I was gonna say that's mad lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a short game otherwise.
How much, Frank? How much would you say this is a Mega Man game?
Not a whole lot. It mostly uses a lot of like series tropes and visual things as a vehicle for this new idea of a game that the director had, essentially.
Like the new Final Fantasy.
There's no beating enemies and like taking their powers or anything like that. I think when we get to like end game story stuff, that's really the only time that I'd say it starts to really get there, because it escalates on the way that like end game stories of like Zero, ZX, and X get to at the ends of those games. But like, to say how much of a Mega Man game it is, in all honesty, outside of the visual motifs and character names and stuff like that, not a whole lot. And I think that's one of the reasons that it shines so much. It's such a shining little gem in this series that basically thrives on embracing those series norms and themes and stuff like that, and instead it kind of shuns them, in terms of its gameplay, at least.
Is the Buster Gun pretty fun to use? Is it fun to shoot, fun to battle, move around?
It can be a little sluggish in the first one. The second one is when they really get the control down. Like, you can't... there's a bit of like an auto lock when you shoot, but the actual lock on in this game, you can't like lock on and move at the same time. There's a dodge roll too. So it's clearly a Souls-like, guys. Mega Man Legends invented the dodge roll. Eat that, Dark Soul. No, I'm just kidding. I will say, the older I get, the more I appreciate the iframes and the dodge roll, though. Every time I'm like, I got this. This is nothing. But what was the starting point of that? Sorry, I got lost there.
I'm curious about the gameplay loop, like how Mega Man moves and evolves, because I know the camera is an issue for like a lot of PS1 era 3D games. But it kind of feels like a cozy game where you're kind of in one area and you like go in and you regroup back to base and you kind of just work on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of Catalog's Island and its inhabitants are a big part of the game and its atmosphere. Like I said, they have just that, the coziness and familiarity, like and I mean, a big part of that too is the soundtrack is an absolute banger. My God, that soundtrack is filled with some of my favorite music on the PlayStation 1. I think that the first game actually has better music than the second one. Shout outs to Apple Market. Every time I hear that song, I'm just like,
Apple Market.
Oh, to be a child once again.
Apple Market is in my wake-up playlist.
So I am curious, because I do like the Mega Man games quite a bit, and especially like the 8-bit ones are kind of my shit. I think X is really good up until a point. I think X1 is probably the pinnacle the series has ever been in terms of control and gameplay.
Perfect game.
It's a perfect video game, and it also teaches everything you need to know.
Grenade Man.
Level. Yeah, I mean, well.
I'm Grenade Man. Sorry,
Say hello to
we
my
can't talk
cute
about
balls.
8 without me. Yeah. You can call me handsome guy.
Mega Man X also has the
guy.
best Kuwanger of any video game.
Boomer Kuwanger.
Boomer Kuwanger. Isn't it Boomerang Kuwanger?
Well, no, it's Boomer Kuwanger, and now it would just be like some 70-year-old confused about iPhones.
But he's a beetle.
And a beetle.
I'm just curious. For me, I remember playing it. I had no idea what Mega Man was at the time. I didn't grow up with a ton of like Nintendo systems, and my mom didn't buy me a lot of consoles. So obviously I didn't have a lot to roll on there. Pun. And
Very good. Very good.
see, right? I know. I'm nailing it today. But I'm wondering what the appeal was when you played this. What was like the reason you got it? Was the Mega Man name very important to you going into it? I think that's more of a question for Frank, because Kip kind of admitted that he stumbled upon this later.
This was, for us, we got the game because it said Mega Man. It had the blue guy on the cover, even if he had that big old haircut.
That was a cool haircut.
But no, that's why we got it. Anyways.
Yeah, that's exactly how they got me with it too. I was a serious devotee. I saw Mega Man. I saw New Mega Man. I saw 3D Mega Man, and I was like, all right, we got to give this a go. And then I couldn't even. I was so enthralled by it that I couldn't be mad that I got hoodwinked by their marketing. Like. I also was a child, so had no idea that I was hoodwinked by marketing 20 times a day. So,
and this might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I wonder if I started playing this tonight, would I have a good time?
No.
That was fast.
Dylan, you wouldn't.
I know I wouldn't. I'm a picky little bitch.
I think you could
Unlike
play.
Pip, I don't like all games.
You could play Mega Man Legends 2. I think the gameplay is a little more like dialed in. The camera plays a lot different. I think you'd enjoy that one more, but I think I don't know if you'd have the patience for Legends.
I don't think I do.
I think that you'd appreciate the characters.
I like all the designs, and I think that's what really got me the first time. I think they really did a great job of making memorable-looking design choices, and especially
they're so expressive.
Exactly, and
so expressive.
And then when I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and you see like like Tron Bon and all these other I called them little Lego guys.
Yeah, they are
so
2
thought they
degrees
were
from a
Legos.
Lego guy.
Yeah, I was always
Legally
intrigued.
distinct.
They are the
Lego
Pal
Man.
World is to Pokemon of Legos.
Hey, now come on, that game's good.
A little bit about Mega Man Volnut, a.k.a. Mega Man Trigger. We'll get into the major deep lore, but allegedly he's 14 years old. He was found as a baby robot boy because I guess robots, they physically grow, maybe. And Casket decides to name him after her favorite video game character. So Mega Man has become a video game franchise in his own world. That just triggered.
That hurt my brain.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like how we make video games of like
It's
ancient Greek heroes and shit.
No, it's Wolverine reading his own comics a little bit. Yours is better though. Yeah, where it's like
because this takes place in the future.
yes. Previous life he was an ultra badass, but now his new life he doesn't like fighting. He just wants
He
to
was
be
a badass baby.
Well, he was a dude. He was the coolest baby. He came out smoking cigarettes
With
Fucking
sunglasses.
and he said, "I
Leon
don't want to be
Kennedy's
here."
bomber jacket on, like
He slapped the doctor's ass back, like.
I don't want to fight anymore.
You just got here.
Life is hard. Pain
You
is
just
inevitable.
Life.
The world is
meaningless.
covered by endless water.
I don't like water. That's a little bit about Mega Man Volnut. Roll Casket, she's also 14 years old. Enthusiastic, tomboyish, genius mechanic. Secretly loves Mega Man, her adopted brother. Barrel Casket is Roll's grandpa. And
Why is their last name Casket?
I mean, why is his first name Mega?
His name
I
is
buy
Walnut.
Mega before I buy Casket.
Well, weirder though is his baby robot body was found with a mysterious little robotic monkey.
I was waiting for the data drop.
And there it is. They got the dance down. Data is deceivingly a very important character, but he just seems like a little robot monkey.
Yes.
He can speak normally. Go ahead.
He is very important in both gameplay because he's your save point and he refills your health. But as you said, boy, is he important to the plot when you get towards the end of the game.
And also he's important because of that fucking little dance.
That's
Iconic.
Iconic dance.
And I don't think I would have gotten done with that game as a kid if I couldn't go back to him every 5 minutes and go, what do I do? And he tells you what to do next.
Oh, yeah.
We all need our own little Data. Like,
Yeah, just in the corner, like,
when I'm at the bar, I need to go
Frank,
up to the
stream
monkey
Mega
and be
Man
like,
Legends 2 tonight.
do I need another beer? And he's like, fuck off, Brad. I'm like, okay,
But
you're
yes.
right.
Time to go.
Yeah, I should
All
go
right,
home.
all right.
More, I think probably the most important character introduced in Legends, or at least the most iconic, somehow Tron Bon eclipsed Volnut, I would say. Tron Bon became a very big deal. She's the one who got into most other, like, Marvel vs. Capcom games. what is it about Tron Bonne that is so wonderful?
Baller name. It starts with that. Tron Bonne.
Because you've never played the game, but you do have a lot of Tron Bonne posters in your bedroom, Tyler.
So many.
Yeah.
So is Tron Bonne supposed to be hot?
I don't know, but I have a Tron Bonne body pedal.
To like someone who is my age when they played it, absolutely, I was like, she's my Sundari Sky Pirate Princess. Oh my god,
That's how you talked.
Like,
That's how you talked as a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I
Certainly
did.
a tsundere.
I went from talking like this to then I talked like this. It was puberty was crazy for me.
How much has changed?
I love Tron Bonne. I want to be a pirate.
I want, yeah.
I
She is the Oscar Langley story of Mega Man.
Yeah.
She spends so much time talking down to you.
Perfect.
Yes, as far as 14-year-old characters, she was hot in the day. And now she's adorable. The only daughter of the Bond family of air pirates, she's a genius mechanic. She created 40 Servbots, who are also iconic imagery from the game.
Lego Men.
The Servbots are 41 small all-purpose robots loyal to the Bonds. They clean and cook and do other things.
Throw bombs.
I need you to do my chores and also have weaponized
Acts of
capability.
terrorism.
You can
If
do
you
the
visit
dishes
the
and
li-
then bomb the neighbor's house.
You didn't
you
bomb the
visit-
neighbor's house or do my clean the toilet. This is bullshit.
But breakfast was great.
Breakfast was great, number 32.
The Servbots actually have some pretty important tasks. If you visit the library about mid-game, you'll find one who, if you talk to him, just says, "I'm learning how to make hamburgers." And that's the only thing he'll say to you. So I think,
Iconic, man. That is awesome.
yeah, he's holding it down.
It's the game was so good for when you had kid time, because between every single major event, there's new people, there's new dialogue. It did so well. Like, I mean, like, I think on stream I probably beat it in about like 10 hours or so. I have a relatively good idea of where to go and stuff like that. But I remember just dumping so many hours into it as a kid, just for that exact reason, because so many of these little random events that would just be sandwiched between these two other events. If you went back to town, you'd see something like that or some other charming world building little thing. And I love that about it. I always talk about, having kid time and how some games are more geared to doing stuff with that kind of time, and that's definitely one that exemplifies it.
Oh,
Isn't
absolutely.
that amazing though? Like when you're young and you play like these RPGs, you just want to live in that world. And now you're like, can you guys shut up? I've got some killing to do.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3.
Don't. We can't.
Then there's Teaselbon. That's Tron Bonne's older brother. Now, he's like very robotish. He's not actually a robot, though, is he? Is he augmented?
I'd say augmented. I feel like they're all like augmented.
Because it's weird
Yeah.
that their baby brother, the 3-year-old Bon, he is actually just a giant robot.
See, isn't it kind of up in the air if there's an actual baby inside of that piloting it?
Okay, so there's
Like, I
another
feel like
badass
that-
baby in this game.
That is not.
Yes,
up in the
it
air.
very well could be.
Wait, so what do you think then, Kip?
Oh,
Is there not a baby
Bonbon-
within the giant robot?
Oh my god, I love this idea. No, there's definitely not a robot. Or a baby in a robot.
So it's just.
Why
a
would
giant
you
robot.
program a robot to be your baby brother, and B, to have an infantile level of intelligence?
Have you never
I feel
seen
like that.
Steven Spielberg's AI?
Oh damn, you're right. Fuck.
Yeah, but that thing was programmed to love and not be a baby.
Bonbon
but he was kind of a
programmed
baby.
to say babu over and over.
They- command line say babu.
I programmed you to love me, not to question me. Babu, babu. Thank you.
That's what I told my mother.
Yeah, that's what your mother said to you. Some of the differences between the Japanese and the English version. In the English version, you protect Tron from a dog chasing her. In the Japanese version, you can either calm the dog down or fucking kick it like a football. Didn't make it in America. There's also a really weird morality system in this game.
Dark Mega Man.
I remember hearing about the morality system just like on the playground, that it was the Japanese version only, and if you do bad things like kicking the dog, Mega Man turns darker. Is that right?
Yes.
Is it only the
does.
Japanese version, or is it both?
No, it's both. There's actually, in a side quest, there's a moment where you stop someone from like robbing a bank, and you could just leave with the money, and it immediately turns you dark, and it changes dialogue, it locks you out of a couple like shops and stuff like that. It's a bit more impactful in the second game. The first one feels more like a prototype, where it's basically you're either the worst of the worst or the game's normal, essentially. I don't think I ever noticed like any kind of difference for constantly doing good deeds, just the gradual darkness. You could, if you kick the dog, if you you can kick the soda machines in the town and blow them up, that makes you worse. And then the bank robbery, those are the three main things to make you evil. And I think
Mega Man is known for his kicking.
to be good again, you have to kick a can behind a counter like 100 fucking times.
How does that
and
make
then
you
won't
good?
be evil anymore?
That's like,
well, I don't know. They give you 1,000. They give you 1,000 zenny every time, and just a little bit of good
that
points.
can is a
Just
war
little
criminal.
bit.
Yeah,
There's-
you don't know what that
behind-
can did, man.
Behind the counter, a woman thanks you for recycling and gives you 1,000 zenny. But every time you leave the Apple Market, the can comes back. So that's like just the best way to build up your good morality again.
Zenny,
Zenny's the money.
That's the currency.
they're getting paid
Shit.
in nicotine pouches.
Oh,
They're
is
just
the man,
there.
is the
what
man
they use in Breath
obsessed
of
with
Fire.
Zinnies.
Dude, Volnut was
Yeah, I
born
was
with a
gonna say,
cigarette
it's
in his
a-
mouth, man. He's
It's kind of a share. I think it's even Zenny in the Street Fighter 6 story mode. It's kind of Zenny is like the Capcom Gill, essentially.
Yeah,
that's true.
Love it.
shared universe.
Street Fighter 6 does have Zenny.
There's also a dirty moment that was left untouched in the localization process. After the Gesellschaft is destroyed, if Mega Man Volnut tries to enter Roll's room, a cutscene appears in the first person that has Roll shouting in embarrassment and Mega Man looking shocked. It's implied he saw her changing. Afterwards, she tells him to knock next time, and after apologizing, Mega Man then thrusts his arm up as if victorious. But the arm thrust was removed for the PlayStation version, or maybe the North American version. It was removed for some, maybe the PSP. But
We couldn't handle that. That is too controversial, too decisive. It would
Too
have
sexy.
It would have wrecked us.
yeah, I can't imagine.
It's like that, and then the hot coffee mod from San Andreas, like right underneath that, and then the list goes on.
I guarantee there are some 14-year-old kids that saw this like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Whoa. Well, that's the Ray or Asuka question of Legends fandoms has always been: were you Team Roll or were you Team Tron
Asuka.
for who would inevitably win Mega Man's heart?
Or Data.
Team Edward.
Asuka.
Yeah,
It's so
Very
easy.
true.
It's so easy. It's not even a question.
Well, that's kind of an overview. Is there any specific game moments that you want to talk about? Like, not specifically plot-wise, but like really cool bosses or sections?
I think one of my favorite things about the Legends series is that it's one of the first 3D games I can think of that has big set piece moments. Where you're like riding on a plane, shooting down like air enemies, protecting your ship while damaging like a boss ship, or like the one where you're on the boat, you're trying to get to the place and the enemy has this big giant fucking mech that rises out of the water, and you actually have to like leave and like find out a different way. It's got these big, like, it's like fucking like Uncharted practically, like just these big huge set pieces that the scale of them impressed me, and they left an impression on me because of that. I think that's one of the things that just stick out about those games as a whole to me the most, is that they have these big moments that feel like they were just so ambitious for their time, and while not always pulled off perfectly, I think enough of them are pulled off in an extremely satisfying way that it's something worth really highlighting it. Like, there are some really big moments that you get to control, that you get to actually play in, that a lot of other games at the time would, you get like an FMV of it or something like that, which is cool. I love FMVs. I'm an RPG guy. But I loved how much it really makes you feel like you're playing Mega Man Legends as the character.
Brad,
it's like you're really playing Spider-Man.
Brad, why didn't we have them on for the other episodes? Because you and I got so exhausted that first Mega Man.
Not the first one. No, the first one was an utter joy. Mega Man X was really fun because it was great and terrible. Zero and ZX were a slog.
Remember when you learned about the elves?
When
The cyber elves.
You erased that.
when
You
did I learn
deleted
about
it.
elves?
How about you?
did.
How about you, Kip? Anything like stand out? As a good game section.
Yeah, definitely. The thing I remember the most about this game is in one of the parts of town, there's a television station that if you go in and talk to the person at the desk, they just say, "We need contestants for our game shows. You want to be on?" So if I remember correctly, there is a mini game about kicking a ball at a dog, actually. Okay, so more dog kicking. A mini game where you shoot balls, sort of like a pang, and a race around the city if you have the jet skates. These are just mini games that are entirely optional, but they're so delightful. They're the thing I remember the most about this game.
I think I love that it insinuates that what people watch on television on this island includes a game about kicking rubber balls at dogs. like, oh, honey, it's Monday. Turn on Kick the Ball at the Dog. I'm excited for the new episode. Like,
Who's the dog playing this week? It's the ball again, honey.
Say hello to my cute bombs!
Hi, this is Mono, the host of Tokyo Game Life, a Tokyo-based video game podcast focusing on Nintendo and gaming culture in Japan's capital. It's your slice of gaming life from Tokyo. Every episode features deep dives into gaming-related places to visit in Tokyo, interviews with fans, developers, and experts, plus detailed thoughts on both retro and new games. Tokyo Game Life, only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
Shuffly.
We're gonna go to a dark part of the podcast now, where I discuss the lore between Mega Man ZX and Legends. Now, if you recall from Mega Man ZX, which you don't, whatever Master Thomas did apparently led to the world being covered with water, and the creation of the Master System and Elysium. Also, carbons were created. You might be asking yourself, Tyler, well, what is Elysium?
It is a movie starring Matt Damon with a lot of shaky cam.
Wrong. Elysium was between 2600 and 2700 in the Mega Man universe.
Are they in our timeline? Like, is this our future? Or is
No.
this okay.
Now, the fact that some of the Mega Man games, actually, the classic ones, I think, take place early 2000s.
It is kind of our timeline, but it's concurrent in year naming. Or like year, like
They had
year that it
Jesus.
is.
They did have a Jesus.
Okay, so we're in like the 28th century here.
Around 100 to 175 years after the events of Mega Man ZX Advent.
Oh,
Of course.
Yep, naturally.
Now, Elysium was created as a utopian society thousands of years before Mega Man Legends. It is a perfect world located high above Terra, which is Earth. The ancient humans who lived here were not subject to aging, sickness, or hunger thanks to their advanced technology. At some point, all of the original humans died due to unknown circumstances, except for one called the Master.
mass gooning.
It was a gooning incident.
a goon exodus, as they say.
I don't need people no more. And then the population died out.
The Master is the last of the original humans, and the Master System is the main function of protecting and serving the Master on Elysium and overlooking the carbons on Terra. Okay. The Master System.
Brad, can you give it a little dramatic flair?
The Master System is maintained by Mother Units, Mistress Sarah and Mistress Yuna, who enforce rules to protect the Master, even if he contributes to his loneliness.
That's not bad. You're doing well. You can read it normally again.
Other android units are created, including bureaucratic units like Mega Man Juno and purifier units like Mega Man Trigger.
So they did not have politics, and then they're like, you know what? We're going to create some politicians.
You know, computers are working fine. Let's give them government.
Yeah.
And they did. Servitor units serve a mother unit. They can transform into large, dragon-like reaver bots, as you would expect. Purifier units seek out and eliminate aberrant units, and bureaucratic units control the carbon population. Now, this was a long time ago, and if it hurt you, it hurt me more. A long time passes, let's say 1,000 years. The Master enjoys the company of Mega Man Trigger, who will become a badass robot baby later on. He's so lonely, and Mega Man Trigger is just so cool, they become buddies. The Master requested Mega Man Trigger to take him to Terra to see the Carbons, who are artificial humans who live on Terra. The Master can't survive long outside of Elysium, so he sends Mega Man Trigger. The Carbons are happy with their short lives, and in his final moments, the Master requests Mega Man to destroy the Master System and delete all the data from the Elysium library to protect the Carbons. He sees how beautiful their short lives are and how happy they are, and he's like, maybe computer government was bad.
It's like that
Maybe.
weird conundrum of like, well, if you live forever, your life has no purpose, but in your finite time on Earth, you can find a purpose, and then it's like the dog chases the rabbit, death chases you, and it motivates you to do something.
And if there's no dog, you're just a rabbit with no purpose.
It's because they keep kicking.
You gotta
fucking
kick
balls
a ball at it. I'm so happy we went to the same immediately. We're like, you gotta just kick the ball at him. I mean,
I guess we're just gonna start kicking these animals, right? I'm so bored.
that's how you become Dark Mega Man. See, it all comes together.
Mega Man fought against the Master System Yuna, initially fighting. He realizes what he's trying to do and tries to take a neutral position, or Yuna does. Sarah travels to Terra to fight Mega Man herself. Mega Man Trigger transfers his essential memories to the monkey Data to make sure Sarah would never find the Master's genetic code. Data's a monkey. Sarah cannot use her full power outside of Elysium and fights Trigger to a standstill, with each expending all of their energy. Yuna seals them both inside stasis fields. Trigger's body was severely damaged, so he had to reset to survive, which turned him into a really badass baby and erased his memories. And Mega Man and Data are then sealed. More time passes, another 1,000 years-ish. The world is covered in water. An energy crisis breaks out. Among the diggers is a legend of the Mother Lode, which everyone's searching for. Yuna and Sarah are legends, some consider goddesses. And then another 900 years pass, 100 years before the events of Mega Man Legends. Around 5,500 in the timeline. Oh, goodness, we're almost there. Two diggers, Barrow Casket and Werner von Blucher, discover an eye in the storm guarding Forbidden Island and enter. Their ship crashes. They discover the stasis field and a mysterious figure approaches them, and that's all we know for now. All our characters are born. Barrel's daughter and Roll's mother and her husband travel and become lost. This is important in Legends 2. Blah, blah, blah. The events of Mega Man Legends happen. And the boss of Mega Man Legends is Mega Man Juno. Is it a good final boss battle, guys?
It fucking rocks. Holy shit. I love that. It beat my ass as a kid. But every time I play it again with like a little bit of a deeper understanding of the mechanics, good stuff, like just a better mastery of the game and, you know, better fucking motor skills because I'm an adult now. It is a challenging, tight, two-phase test of your might. It is. I love that boss fight. It's tight, but it's a good boss fight.
Yeah. And the game, you know, it's largely kind of more of a fun tone, and then it takes like a sharp turn into RPG territory at the end where it's like, you were a chosen baby, and I am a foreign goddess from another land, and I'm a computer. Is that like a pretty big tonal shift in the game?
Yeah, I definitely would say so. Once the subgates start popping out of the ground, that's really when shit goes down. Which the subgates are these huge dungeons filled with horrible monsters that are located like underneath all of the biggest like populated areas in the game. So once they're like, there might be horrible ancient robots pouring out of these killing everyone, it just takes that ramp and just keeps going 0G into the sky. To the moon, some would say.
Where they will be forever.
Oh my god.
You have a high tolerance for anime bullshit.
I have a very high tolerance for anime bullshit. I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. I'm getting it. But like I'm hearing all these words. I've seen a lot of gameplay. I sat down and I told my wife, I've got to watch some YouTube videos on the big screen. And that's what I did. I watched some of the gameplay. I watched story summaries. And I sat there, and she looks at me, and she asks, "Are you dumber than I think?" Or, and I'm like, I don't know. I legitimately, I'm just like, I don't know what they're smoking over there at Capcom, brother, but it's got some wicked shit in there.
Yeah, they need to share that.
Oh my god. That's a story I could only think of. Like it does sound like Death Stranding a little.
It sounds like what they did was they all sat around a table and they played that game where you have to tell a story, but you can only say one word at a time. So it'd be like once.
And he kicked the dog.
And they're like, what the fuck, man? I had a dog.
Mega Man entered the room and Roll was naked. Kick that guy off of the team.
Let's try one real quick.
Well, once.
Upon
Mega Man.
Naked.
Trigger.
No, go ahead. No! Okay, Frank,
The baby was smoking.
The baby had sunglasses.
And hated authority. Does anyone else want to say anything about Mega Man Legends 1 before we move on to the misadventures?
I just want to throw out how intimidating of a boss Mega Man Juno is. When you first meet him, he is all smiles, speaks very softly, and has long, like, pink hair, and you think he's about to be your friend. And throughout the entire fight, he's kicking your ass. He just has this smile and is speaking softly. It's scary.
I love that the final form for it still has that same head and face on it, but it's replaced with this like monstrous mechanical body. Like,
yeah, scary stuff.
There's nothing scarier than like long segmented robots that look like they can destroy you because they look like monolithic structures. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that design choice.
I just want to play Nier Automata after talking about this.
Honestly, that's a good robot
I'm pretty
game.
sure I'm gonna end up fucking streaming Legends 2 tonight because I'm gonna have Legends brain rot yet again. I thought I escaped it, but I'm back.
You might as well.
Well, while our brains are rotting, let's talk about the misadventures of Tron Bonne. This came out July 22nd, 1999 in Japan for the PS1, arrived in America May 22nd, 2000. It is a prequel and a spin-off, first revealed in December 1998. The Bond family of air pirates seek treasure but prefer to let others do their dirty work. Teasel Bond, leader of the pirates and extremely emotional, always crying or screaming, part of the Mega Manuary is I like to find weird biography things about all of our beloved characters. Teasel Bond, besides loving books, he also loves anime and toys. His hobbies help him cope with the sadness of his parents' death.
That's why I bought so many One Piece figures.
It's replacing them.
This is my mommy now.
My hole is filled with this.
Exactly.
Robin, you're my mom now.
I'd call her mommy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What do you? She's gonna slap you 100 times with all them extra hands if you don't. I mean, come on.
Brett doesn't know anything about One Piece.
Perfect.
He's gonna.
No, it's a bathing suit style.
Sure.
It's a One Piece.
The bathing suit, no bathing suit me. The bathing suit fruit.
The thongy fruit.
No, not the thongy fruit.
Oh man, I am lost.
That's what they call the devil fruits. You ignoramus.
Thongy fruits?
No, they give it like names.
Don't be ridiculous, Brad.
Don't be ridiculous.
Even Kip gets it.
So Tieselbahn requests
Yes, you do.
a 1 million Zenny loan from Lex Loth to finance the construction of the Gesellschaft.
Is that a Lex Luthor?
It's a Lex Luthor reference, yeah. Lex Loth is the leader of a crime family and a greedy black market financier that has made a fortune through unsavory tactics. He loans money, charges major interest, and then collects your debt and forces slavery upon you.
It's got dark.
Yeah, well, it's Lex Loth in the Mega Man Legends universe. What do you think was going to happen?
I guess that's why they call it a misadventure.
Why are so like when you hear the last name Casket, you think about dead things?
Sounds like a Tim Burton character.
Lex Loathe makes sense. Like you loathe this guy. It's a little on the nose. I get it, but why are they named Casket? Can you guys tell me why their last name is Casket?
Because they needed a name.
Don't worry.
Because it sounds.
No, Tyler's.
It sounds like gasket.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a
Tyler's
common naming convention that they used to do like in the medieval times, where like the last name Carpenter, your name was John Carpenter because you were a carpenter. The last name's Casket because they ran the funeral business.
It's interesting,
This
but
is
they're
common.
scientists in this one.
Well, no, before that, like
Their
their
ancestors.
great grand robot.
Like your ancestors used to huff chemicals.
Yeah, now I'm Hoff. Yeah, yeah. It's perfect.
My ancestors used to lie.
My
That's why it
ancestors
just came down to me lie.
My ancestors used to be French Canadian, but they had the French last name, which means ward or protector. So they were probably a protector of somebody back in the day. And when they got Americanized, it turned into ward.
Yeah, so you come from a family of paladins.
Sure.
No.
That's better than mine.
To pay for
Hoffman's Hill.
To pay for the 1 million Zenny loan, Tieselbahn, alongside Baby Bonbon, and 6 Servbots search for Diana's
Baby
tear.
and a robot.
The baby and a robot. They're looking for a very valuable refractor. Teasel is stopped by Glide, who is the most Mega Man character, I think, in the Legends universe.
Diana's Tear. You better
Yeah.
go back before 1998, before that car crash.
Too soon. You know I'm obsessed with Princess Diana.
It was so bad.
No, Dylan, you're nailing it today, dude.
Oh, fucking
God,
Brad's not ready to talk about
dude.
Diana yet.
Princess Diana hyper
The way Prince
fixation.
Charles treated her was too much.
Oh my.
Yeah, but Glide, he's a debt collector of Lex Loth. He defeats and captures Tieselbahn and Bonbon. Glide is second in command. He will become an ally later. He is effeminate, arrogant, snobbish, and narcissistic, yet he demonstrates very high intelligence and skills as a pilot. He has his own bots that rival the Serv bots. They're the bird bots.
Whoa.
You know what kind of animals they look like?
Birds.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Dude, you did your research for this one.
Oh, I saw him in pictures. This is what I'm curious about. Frank, can you tell us a little bit about what the gameplay is like in this? Because I only watched videos and I'm kind of confused.
So it has a mission-based structure, and there's like 5 different kinds. There's ones that are almost like puzzle games. There's ones that are like you have to protect a town or destroy the town. There's a whole mode that has like the classic Legends, like interconnected big giant shooting gameplay. And then there's a couple like big story missions that you get big set pieces on. So it's actually, it has super varied gameplay, and there's a lot of other little mini games in it to like train your serve bots and stuff like that, and like you have to you can there's like a whole like kitchen thing. Like it's very much built on your strengthening your force, making sure your serve bots are all leveling up, being properly taken care of while you're doing missions to make money. Generally, you unlock, I forget if it's at monetary checkpoints that you unlock, like the next tier of missions and story stuff, but there is at some point you get to where you'll unlock like your next set of missions and stuff, but a lot of it will be you'll kind of identify what is the one that works best for like what you need. Like, do I need to make some money? Do I need to hunt for some kind of resource or something like that? But it's very varied, and I think that's one of the strengths of it, because outside of the puzzle one, which is moving blocks and shit, I don't really think any of them were wearing thin on me by the end of it. I had a lot of fun ordering serve bots around and having them do all kinds of stuff, hunting down money, because you play as Tron piloting one of her mechs for most of it, and it has this thing on its head that you go forward and it shoots it, and it's like a marker for the serve bot, so it makes them go attack something or pick something up, or maybe Pikmin. Like yeah, it is. It's Pikmin, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Fuck, man, it's every game. I need to write this one down too.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely. Pikmin is very similar to how you can make the serve bots accomplish a big variety of different tasks. And what Kip said earlier about how that there's 40 serve bots, they all have individual stats, growth rates, all kinds of stuff like that. They actually kind of went hard
so it's
on
Pokemon
like
too.
But they all look like little yellow men.
It's interesting that it's a bunch of mini games, but with also like a big story built around it. It's kind of a unique game. I don't know of other games that are like, it's a series of mini games with like a story function that keeps kind of escalating.
It's hard to justify in the modern context.
I would kill for that if there was like a good if there was a series, if like Mario Party for some reason had a story. Mario Party is a bad example, but something like that where it's a series of mini games that you play all of them to advance along.
Well, the plot of Mario Party is Bowser did it bad.
Well, that's the plot of every Mario.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But
I guess if it was something like that, but like, you were gaining stats and working towards it, and all these systems were like interconnected. I think that's one of the reasons that the game comes off as strong, is that a lot of them they're all interconnected. None of them are really like a content island, essentially. You have to do this to get this that's going to help you to get this, whereas like Mario Party is totally different objectives and stuff like that. So I think that interconnectivity is the glue that holds that together, as like, wait a minute, this seems really cool, like I would want something that, but if it was just, mini games for mini games sake, it wouldn't really be, you'd just be like, all right, it just has a bunch of fucking mini games. But because they're all fun and interconnected, it doesn't feel like a chore to be doing these different variations of like similar themed levels and stuff like that. And because, like we said, it all builds up to big narrative points that are really satisfying and fun to see.
It's almost like they made the movie Despicable Me and they're like, fuck, these minions are great. We got to do something with them. Because, this almost just seems like an excuse to play with the serve bots and see my favorite 14-year-old girl again, old Tron.
Well, there's also a lot of DNA that made Legends 2 so much better than Legends 1 that you first find in Tron Bond, like the better camera control and the way that like the way shooting handles, and I think there's a couple like movement mechanics and stuff that you can tell they kind of tested out in Misadventures. So I think Misadventures of Tron Bond was kind of like a developer's playground in some ways for them. They got to really push the limits of what they could do with this engine that they've crafted and worked on with the first game. And I think that like it's one of those ones that Tron Bond walked so Legends 2 could run in a big way.
This is the most fascinating part about it because usually it takes 1 or 2 games and then you get spin-offs. Mm-hmm. Now it is with this, especially like betting everything on a Tron Bond game, there must have been such a huge reception to that character that it must have been almost immediate. Like it would have had to have been because it was only released like a year later.
Yeah. Tron Bond blew up. Still beloved. There's another character that I wanted to mention that was introduced in this game. Her name is Denise Marmalade.
Fuck yeah.
Paddington loves her.
He's obsessed. Denise Marmalade is a rookie cop that is heavily inept at her job. During repeated bank robberies, she tries to stop Tron Bond and her police mecha and can't stop her. Eventually, though, Tron Bond does make sure Denise gets to keep her job. I just love her name and that she's a bad rookie cop. Denise Marmalade accidentally shot someone in the leg.
What the fuck is this game?
This is my drag name, Denise
Marmalade.
She's perfect.
Officer
Oh no, I
Marmalade?
looked Denise Marmalade up and then I saw Servbots tying her up. I'm gonna leave this fucking image search. I'm just gonna never image search anything related to Mega Man Legends ever.
Just put safe search on.
No, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your phone. It's fine.
Despite being the
She
title,
looks inept.
she looks inept.
Could you imagine actually having an emergency
And she
calling
shows
the
up.
police?
Hey, man.
This bitch shows up.
Hi, I'm Officer Marmalade. Fuck.
All right.
Fuck shit.
Hey, man, you guys wear
the
glasses.
eyes.
Was Officer Peanut Butter not around?
Officer Peanut Butter.
Off of Raspberry Jam, where the fuck are you?
I would love if Raspberry Jam came in like that. If he kicked the door, Officer Raspberry Jam, put the gun down. In a raspberry-colored shirt.
Yes.
And he's getting too old for this shit.
He is too old.
He's got a single stud earring in one ear, and it's a little raspberry.
Oh, I love that.
And no one would dare say anything about it.
Because his daughter
That's the
gave it
thing.
to him before she passed away.
Oh my god, yes! Because the Servbots killed her. She was a casualty of war.
Despite being the title character, Tron Bond has no 3D model in the game. She only appears as foreground sprites. Interesting to note. Every other character actually got a 3D model except for her.
Whoa.
The Japanese counterpart included Pocket Station support, whereas the North American and European version did not.
Bummer.
Yeah, so Tron Bond had to go in and claw out of debt for her brother Teasel Bond. They reached the monetary, they get enough money, and then the guy's like, nope, it's another million now. It's another million now.
Well, you got to pay the VIG, too, you know?
Well, he keeps escalating it after the fact.
That's what they do, though. That's why you never get money from the mafia.
Lex Loth is actually Tom Nook.
He's Tom Nook.
Oh,
Tom Nook doesn't demand it right away, though. He's actually the best landlord you've ever had.
yeah.
But Lex Loth doesn't demand it right away either. He'd rather you be in debt and owe him.
And he knows, as a landlord, squatters' rights and how hard it is to evict somebody, so he's not really trying to get into all that legal shit, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, good point.
This was before Mega Man Legends. Then the plot of Mega Man Legends happens. Between Legends 1 and the next game, Lex Loth does pass away.
What?
Probably from all
Off-screen?
of the legal battles and the accusations and the
And the
allegations and the loathing. It's very it's trying on you, hating everybody.
It's very Donald Trump.
It's very Vince McMahon.
Oh, that boy's in trouble.
Denise Marmalade, she's got the hots for Glide in the off season. Just so everyone knows, she's after him. Werner von Blucher uses all of his fortune to create the Sulfur Bottom, which sounds like a stank booty where I'm from.
What is it? Say the word again.
The Sulfur Bottom.
Sulfur Bottom.
Yep, that's the name of his ship.
That's just Florida.
Now you might.
That's me after I eat 20 wings at Hooters.
Uh-oh. Look out, honey. I got the Sulfur Bottom tonight. You might think the next game we're talking about is Mega Man Legends 2, but you would be wrong.
Canonically, it would make sense.
In 2001, Kobun Punishment came out for Japanese mobile phones. Tron Bonne
What year
gets
was this?
2001 for Japanese mobile phones.
What the fuck?
Tron Bonne gets angry with the serve bot and decides to punish him. So she makes the serve bot go into essentially like an obstacle course to avoid weights and spikes while running in a conveyor belt. Yeah, it's just a punishment game. It's called Serve Bot Punishment, essentially. And then there was a lot of other garbage mobile games that we don't need to talk about. But I just wanted to note there was one which the whole point was just fucking torturing serve bots.
It sounds great, to be honest.
We can talk about Mega Man Legends 2. The Japanese game is Rockman 2 Episode 2 Oinaru Isan Aka, or Oinaru Isan, aka Great Inheritance, the Motherlode.
Okay.
There was an Episode 1 of Rockman 2, which is only on the Japanese demo of Rockman 2 that came with Toran Nikobun. It isn't actually a preview of the game to come, but its own separate adventure from Mega Man Legends 2. Now, Frank, I'm guessing you haven't played this.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's its own separate episode leading up into Mega Man Legends 2.
Oh, that's cool.
This once rare piece was included in the PSP version of Rockman 2, making it much more accessible to fans. But Legends 2 came out April 20th, 2000 in Japan, and October of that year for North America. It came to PSP much later on. This game features Mega Man Volnut's quest to find 4 keys hidden in the planet in order to aid in the search of the Motherlode, a legendary treasure thought to be an infinite energy source. Werner von Blucher, we mentioned him. He is a successful businessman who built the Sulphur Bottom, old friends of Roll's grandpa Beryl, and he dreams of finding the Motherlode. There are the characters Bola and Claymore. They're kind of like the bulk and skull, I would say, of Legends 2, perhaps. They're veteran air pirates, wild and rowdy, but they've calmed down with old age. They're called out of retirement to find the Motherlode. There is Gats and Geets. They're servitor units for the mistresses that can turn into dragon-like Reaver bots. You know what I'm talking about, right, Tyler?
I am following 100%.
I am just.
Does this sound right to you, Frank?
Giant Reaver bots. Yep, we're making it so far. We're accurate.
Does this actually make sense to you? I am so.
Well, it's different when you just introduce characters like Rapid Fire versus getting introduced to Gats, and then later on Geets makes more sense.
Yeah.
And you fight the 2 Sky Pirate guys. You fight them like 3 times, and like it's in the games, it's done a lot more. You get more chance to marinate with all of these characters and have them implanted in your brain more. I'd say the story for the most part does make sense. There's still a lot of holes that we will never have filled now that we're not going to get 3 that seem deliberately left. But for the most part, most things make sense. I mean, it's a lot of it. There's sci-fi babble shit. I mean, it's going to come with the territory for 1,000 years, past 1,000 years kind of shit.
Well, Boa and Claymore are kind of like a
West-
fine wine. They're not supposed to be drank too fast. You know, you got to appreciate their characters.
Oh, yeah.
I just appreciate that whenever you like have to fight them, when you like end their when you take their life out, they're always like, "Hold on, my back hurts. I'm done." And I'm like, I like this. This is in my old age. I get these jokes now.
Yeah. So, Mega Man
least he's a
Legends,
new dad.
Mega Man Legends 2, Frank. My understanding is the gameplay is just across the board much more refined and easier to play.
So much better. The camera works better. Everything's snappier. You can lock on and move at the same time. The way you snap to ledges is a lot more generous than in the first game. There's more kinds of sub weapons. it's really one of those sequels that takes everything good and just improves them. Like about it. Like I said, I think the only thing that Legends 1 has on 2 is the cozy vibe, and the OST, I think, overall is a little bit better. And that might be a little bit of just my nostalgia for that soundtrack, because the second game has so many amazing tracks too, and they have almost like more of an orchestral vibe to it, especially around the end when things escalate far beyond even the end of the last game. It's one of those ones where the OST kind of evolves along with the game in a good way.
Nice. Yeah. I haven't had the opportunity to play Legends 2, but everyone says it's night and day, just like the sequel that got everything better, which is cool.
That intrigues me. Now, Kip, you said you didn't want to play this one because you didn't want the journey to end, but you were only technically 50% of the way done.
The ending of Mega Man Legends 1, while it does kind of have a, yes, let's continue exploring, does feel like you wrapped up a journey. But in the playing of it I played it recently to prepare for this episode, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be annoying to play because it's such an old game, and it really controlled so well. So I kind of feel like maybe it's time for me to go back and get into Mega Man Legends 2, even though I know I'm setting myself up for disappointment.
And if you don't want to, we're going to watch Frank play it on stream when you start doing that. That's the way I'd rather do it, is just watch you play, because then at least I can be laughing too.
That actually
then you
sounds
get all
really
this
great.
stuff.
I might copy you.
Well, honestly, like, I'd rather see someone who knows exactly what they're doing get all the shit, because that's kind of satisfying.
Instead of just having to listen to me
there's a
talk
lot of
about
that.
the personality of Teasel Bond.
Ooh, you could run through low poly 2001 MMO fields for 3 hours. That's really fun to watch.
You know what? That sounds like the kind of torture I would put myself through and make up an excuse to find it cool.
As long as your character can look like Norman Reedus, then Dylan would love it.
Honestly, that's kind of how it works.
I like this guy. I always, between Death Stranding and One Piece, knew I loved this guy.
Yeah.
Pete.
He wore
Yeah.
a one-piece swimsuit?
I technically do. It's just boxers.
Now,
I don't wear swimsuits because I want it to be like sheer white with a little bit of see-through, so that when I dip in the water, there's nothing left to the imagination.
That's provocative.
It's beautiful.
That's really nice of you.
everybody, are you ready for one more story time?
Yes.
Oh, God.
yes.
Now, let's talk about the plot of Mega Man Legends 2.
Now there's going to be a test, Tyler.
Barrel,
fail that test.
Barrel Casket and Werner von Blucher have a press conference.
This game just... What?
We would like to announce that our ship, the Sulphur Bottom, can land on Forbidden Island. We believe the mother lode to be located there, and this will solve the energy crisis. That's like really putting a lot of pressure on yourself before you solve the energy crisis, claiming we will solve the energy crisis. Mission not accomplished yet, George Bush, but we did it. The conference is interrupted by Matilda. This is Juno controlling the body of Roll's lost mother. Spoiler warning. Matilda interrupts it, saying there will be a horrible disaster. Now, meanwhile, Mega Man and Roll learn of Joe.
Joe?
Now, Joe is, of course, Banner, who is Roll's father, but he has
A baby.
amnesia.
A badass baby in a coat and a cigar. No. Oh.
Can I hold your baby? He wouldn't like it. So Mega Man save Joe, who is actually Roll's father, but we don't know that. They fight the Bonds and the Glide, and Glide various times. Mega Man's past is revealed. The Master, Elysium, everything.
Whoa.
I know. It's a lot to take in. If you need a moment, Dylan, we can take a break.
Yeah.
Breathe.
All right, Dylan's crying, everybody. We're going to take
It's just-
We're going to cut to the soundtrack for a moment here.
It's just the moment when they do the thing.
Now, Mega Man, of course, unseals Sarah from her stasis field, and she tried.
Sarah?
She's one of the two bots in charge of protecting the Master System.
Okay, so she's got a big job.
But especially after Mega Man Trigger was ordered by the Master to destroy it.
But Trigger's dead.
Well, no, he was reincarnated as badass baby
He's the
Volnut.
badass baby.
Why is he called Volnut?
Why are you called Dylan? Why are you called the Quinine Cowboy?
The Gin Genie?
The Gin Juniper. The Juniper
Juniper Jester.
Juniper Jester.
Thank you. I got it right.
Well, Sarah tries to perform the carbon reinitialization program and recover the Master's genetic code from Mega Man Trigger's original shell. Sarah flees with the keys to unlock the Motherlode to Elysium, and she seeks to destroy all life on Terra.
Wait, she's a bad girl?
Sarah's bad girl.
Oh.
Sarah's programming is moved to Yuna's body, and Master System destroyed with the Master System destroyed, the Elder System begins to reactivate. Mm-hmm. Mega Man is trapped on Elysium.
Oh.
Roll and Tron begin working together to create a rocket to rescue Mega Man. This is the last known event of the Mega Man timeline. Frank, did I get the plot of that okay?
Yeah, for there's some stuff there in the end that is a bit more expounded upon, but it's been a little bit since I've played it, so it's not super duper fresh. But for the most part, I'd say for sure, like the main events of going through the areas. The thing with 2 is that there's a dual-edged sword in the fact that it opens the world up to more than just like a island. You lose some of that coziness of just like knowing one place, and they can't quite hit that point where I was saying with the last game where like there's so many little things to do in between major events, everything changes. It just feels less, there's less of that. And I think part of that is because they had to make all these different islands that all have, different unique, temperaments and climates and shit like that. You got your sand island, you got your ice island, you got your plains island.
It's like Avatar.
Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely glossed over some of the finer points of the plot, but that's like the crux. Mega Man has to go to Elysium to stop Sarah from destroying all life on Earth, and
all carbons.
And we learn about
actual
Roll's
carbon extinction.
We learn about Roll's parents, which they're both still alive.
Well, that's good.
Yes,
we'll count that one as a victory. Don't worry though, Mega Man is trapped on Elysium, but we're gonna find out more about it in Mega Man Legends 3.
Yeah, when that comes, just wait till we play. What is it, Red Dawn or whatever?
Red Ash.
The like Red Ash. Yeah, we just gotta wait for Red Ash to come out, and then Mega Man Legends 3 is gonna be on its way. Is there? I think it was like recently. Every year I have my like copium where I'll see something in my memories talking about Legends 3, and I'll be like, oh, it's the 12th year of Legend of the anniversary of the time that they worked on Legends. So therefore, this is the year, guys. They're gonna do it. They're gonna be like, here it comes. Like, Legends 3. It'll never happen.
No, it'll never happen. Like
never, ever.
This is one of those games that at the time might have been inaccessible for a large group of people, but was very popular with that niche kind of strategy that Japan really loves to go for. And I bet those games were expensive when you bought them in Japan, because I don't think that this was like as popular as a lot of people think. I'm actually surprised it came to America, personally.
Well, Mega Man Legends 3 was announced as a game.
When, though?
September 29th, 2010. It was announced to be coming to the 3DS. While Capcom, it was an interesting development. While they were developing the game, several aspects from the game, such as the new heroine Arrow, a mech, and Mega Man's designs were chosen by fans, as Capcom invited fans to send their designs to the website, to their specific website in the Mega Man Legends 3 spot. It was called the development room, the dev room for short, and fans could be involved in the development, could see the new character designs, the new models. It was set to be directed by Masakisao Eguchi, butchered that, scriptwriter for Legends 2 and director. And then I put down that he was directing Mega Man Star Force, and I got very confused because it was a whole series of Mega Man I wasn't aware of. But Legends 3 was very much happening. Fans were involved. They were seeing this, like, the new art for the character Arrow.
What a boner killer.
The story, we know a little bit about what would have happened. Would have continued right after the events of Legends 2. Two new characters, Arrow and Barrett, would join returning ones to help rescue the protagonist, Volnut, from Elysium. Chris Hoffman of Nintendo Power implied the finished game may have focused on a mysterious item known as the Clica Lafonica and the aftermath of the Elder System reactivating at the end of Legends 2. Chris Hoffman was the only journalist to play the prototype version before the game was canceled.
Holy shit. No.
Yeah, the studio responsible for the voice recording confirmed the prototype version was almost completed, like ready to be done completely. Man, could you imagine if that fucking ROM got leaked?
Oh, yeah.
God, please.
When that was being...
I hope that'll
Sorry,
be...
Frank, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go.
The dev room, I remember my sister Natalie, who's also a big fan of the first game and the second game, she participated a lot in that. That was part of, I think, when Capcom was doing Capcom Unity. And pretty frequently they would do things like propose, here are 3 designs for Mega Man's new outfit, and please vote on which one is your favorite. And anyone in the dev room got to vote, which is not the biggest impact, but it is an impact. I remember how excited about this game my sister was and how bummed we all were to hear that it got canceled, especially because when they had announced they were canceling, I remember they had said something to the effect of, there's not enough interest from our community, which everyone who was part of that dev room took to it and Twitter to say, hey, we are participating more than anyone has it in the preparation of a video game. I don't know how you can say this is our fault.
It was very unique back in the day to have fans interact on a website like that. But I mean, also Mega Man has a long history of letting fans submit designs. Like certain characters, even back in the Nintendo games, fans were submitting their designs for like Gravity Man or whatever his name was. And I mean, it's cool that they were reaching out to the fans. I think kind of what happened was Capcom got tired of Keiji Inafune. He left Capcom in October 2010. There was also, if y'all remember, a like major reboot being designed as like a first-person shooter Mega Man.
Yes.
For like the 360. Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember seeing?
I remember seeing stuff like that.
Yeah,
I saw like
there's
3
footage
screenshots.
of it.
I've never seen the...
I read about it in a Game Informer, and I think I saw, I don't know if it's like a fever dream or like some video on it on YouTube.
You know, it in the way that Metroid Prime just completely ripped off Mega Man Legends 1, I think the Mega Man reboot would have ripped off Metroid Prime pretty hard, is what it looked like.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Yeah, that's the Mega Man Legends series. We're never going to find out unless they make a one-off graphic novel or something. There were small cameos and costumes, skins in a lot of different games based on this. Marvel vs. Capcom, Breath of Fire 6, Dead Rising, Lost Planet, Onimusha, Auto Ranger, Pocket Fighter, SNK vs. Capcom, Street Fighter, Street Fighter X Tekken, and Super Smash Bros. Melee all feature some of these characters.
Cross Tekken.
That too.
What's
That
up,
game
Kit?
as well. Good point.
Oh, and
I just had to say it so we didn't get corrected.
and Tatsunoko versus Capcom has Mega Man Volnut as a playable character.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's interesting that generally all the playable characters like we'll give it to Tronbot or maybe a Servbot. Volnut doesn't get enough love.
Agreed.
Volnut's pretty cool. I like his design quite a bit. I don't understand it. I've said this for the past 2 years. I get the other ones to a certain degree, and then it goes off the rails. But with this one, I feel like this was a time and a place.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something I can't achieve emotionally. I cannot get there. I can't go over that hurdle to find myself in the place where I can play Mega Man Legends.
It's a goon too far. It's a goon too far.
It's a goon's throw too far.
Yep.
It's a goon's through too far.
I'm kind of with you. I think if I were to play Legends 2 today, I would get a lot out of it. But I think there's a level of nostalgia for these games too, where if you played them at the time, like it's much easier to revisit that. I don't know if I could go back and play, Resident Evil 1 or 2.
No, I couldn't.
2 or 3, like any of those really OG PS1 Resident Evil games. I could not go back to tank controls. And same reason I tried to finally play Resident Evil 4, the non-remake version. My brain will not revert to different control schemes for maneuvering a 3D world. It cannot go back. Like even Metroid Prime, if I were to play that in the GameCube again, I think it would take a while for my brain to okay, that's fine.
But you love Croc Legend of the Gobos.
Legend of the Gobos is great.
It's pronounced Gobos, but
we definitely had Croc, and we are never doing the Croc series.
We should do the Croc series.
Croctober.
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 Oh, no.
Croctober. Come on. Croctober.
Croc 2.
That's it.
Croc. One I made up.
I think there's a GBA Croc. Come on, we go harder. Come on, don't you guys want to play the GBA port
Yes,
of Croc?
I do actually.
There's a mobile game crossover called Croc Hunter with Steve Irwin.
Oh.
The weird thing about that one is it actually ends with Croc on the moon.
Croc is just fucking on the moon. And no, Croc 3 got canceled.
We got... Yeah, there's Croc 1, Croc 2. Then on handheld, there's Croc 1, Croc 2. On mobile, Croc Mobile Jungle Rumble, Croc Mobile Pinball, and Croc Mobile Volcanic Panic.
Now, I just hope they're all canonical. I hope that Croc did become a pinball for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that Croc 2 narratively links to Croc Mobile Volcanic Panic. It's really impressive the way they set up that stuff that just pays off really big in Volcanic Panic. You love to see it. It's storytelling at its best.
Well,
really.
honestly, Croc 1 and 2's story is so weak, but if it wasn't for the thread connecting them and the deep plot added in Volcanic Panic, you can't appreciate the story. It's like the Clone Wars TV show. You need it if you want to care about their relationship.
It's true, actually, unfortunately.
I mean, before Croc killed all of his friends and became a bad guy.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait for Croctober now.
Croctober is officially a thing.
I can cover all of the Croc light novels for you.
No, not the Croc light novels! Oh my god.
The Croc light novels.
I got hit by a truck and died, but I was reincarnated as a gobbo in the Croc world.
That is a really good joke.
Gotta love the isekai Croc.
I was a loser guy, but now I'm a gobo in Crocland.
Speaking of gobos, let's bring it home. Mega Man Legends series. Mega Man Legends series.
Sorry, it just keeps getting worse.
I don't know enough about you, Mega Man Legends. I'm happy to be at the end of this strange long journey. Volnut Tron roll, rest in power.
I'm so glad to be done with this. I didn't know what to talk about through this entire thing.
You talked about Princess Diana, dude.
Probably the best addition to the episode.
I mean, Kip, can you give your impassioned plea? Can both of you actually give your impassioned plea as to why this is worth revisiting before we head out?
I'm just going to talk about Legends because it's what I know. But I didn't have an N64, so I have no nostalgia for Ocarina of Time. I'm playing that now for the first time because it's my girlfriend Allie's favorite game. And as I play it, everything I like about it is something I like about Mega Man Legends. So I'm not going to tell you Mega Man Legends is better. Obviously, that's not true. But so many people love Ocarina, and I think there's a lot to love that's the same in Legends. So also, it's pretty short. I feel like you can knock it out in less than 10 hours.
Please check this series out. I know that we know how this story ends, and that's with us not getting the third game. But I think that these 3 games are such a special little saga of games that has this very strong line between them where you can see them crafting and refining this tale that for once in Mega Man they really tried to take story seriously and set something up and make this big bombastic, almost like I said, with like the set pieces, there's almost like a blockbuster vibe to a lot of the way that the story is set up with its arcs and stuff like that. I think that it's a series that is worth your time. Maybe if you're a little rougher on old 3D action games, start with 2, play 2 for a little bit, and then maybe decide if you want to get that original, or maybe just beat it and go back and do it. But I think that everyone who enjoys a 3D action game can, or just an RPG, can get something out of this, especially if you're a Mega Man fan. The end.
Yeah. I mean, what really resonated with me from all the videos I watched was how enduring and charismatic the characters and the story are. I think that their relationships and just like Kip, like you were saying, they're like facial expressions. It's charming in a way that the PS1 nailed so much. And yeah, while I haven't beaten these games, I do have a fondness for them, and I'm happy to know the story of the Mega Man Legends games. And now I can retire this blue outfit I've been wearing.
It doesn't look good on you.
And Tyler, can you give us the final word on all of the Mega Man series? Sum it all up in 2 sentences for our fans.
With a world endlessly covered in water, there's going to be a mother lode of a power source.
Okay.
That you're going to want to find.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the mother lode was the friends you made along the way.
These tears are real. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining us today, friends. Kip, if our listeners wanted to find you, besides on our Discord, where could they find you?
I am on Instagram as Kiplol. That's KIPLOL. That said, it's mostly just pictures of me and our dogs and cats, but happy to always have new friends.
And Frank, if our listeners wanted to check out some of your amazing content, where are you at?
You can find me just about everywhere myself as Woodman FLG. For Super RPG friends, pretty much every social Super RPG friends. We stream right now every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like I said, Monday night is our crafts and anime. I say crafts and anime, it's usually just people building giant robots, but like someone was making a chainmail vest a week. Sometimes someone cooked me breakfast in a Gundam apron. I mean, anything can happen on those nights. Tuesdays and Thursdays are RPGs. Right now we're doing Chrono Cross and Breath of Fire 3, really near and dear to my heart. And Fridays are the Friday Fantasy 11. I keep saying Friday Fantasy 13 for some reason, but whatever. But yeah, you guys can find us there. Like I said, Super RPG friends just about anywhere. We'd love to see you guys. We're a really cool, welcoming community. Super active Discord. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, great time. I was fortunate enough to guest on one of the Suikoden episodes, and we lifted weights together. We all did character voices as we read the dialogue. Everyone chooses a different character, and you get to like kind of act it out.
Oh, that's fun.
I definitely was pushing the boundaries of what is acceptable, or I kind of made up a lot of dialogue.
It's fine.
But yep, and we're here at the Dogcast. You're listening to us, so good job. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hair the Dogcast. We're on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. We have an amazing Patreon. Check out patreon.com/hairthedogcast if you want access to a bunch of bonus Elden Dogs, a bunch of exclusive Raw Dogs episodes, over 50 episodes of Doggies After Dark, a lot of great stuff. And we want to do a special thanks to our executive producers, Ryan Christianick, Kipper. There he is right there, that beautiful man.
Whoa. Free work from this guy.
Brian Ward, who, when I mentioned Frank was going to be on this, is like, dude, I was just watching him play in Mega Man Legends the other day. Jordan Hoff, Phil Wright, Philium Birkin, Cole Delgardno, Bryant Ross, and Kelly Gutowski. Thank you for all your support. And Mega Man Legends is done. Long live Croctober.
Sponsored by Hamburger Helper.
Sponsored by Croc.
Sponsored by the Gobos.
We'll see y'all next time. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.